What's up everybody, Jesse here, or GameOverJesse as some of you all may know me, here with Avarith to talk about what we think the next arc in Dragon Ball Super will be. So right now we are nearing the end of the Universal Survival arc, where they are in the Tournament of Power. We just had a quick discussion of how we think it's going to end, but now it's time to talk about what we think is coming next. So for me, there's been a lot of conspiracies and theories about Frieza becoming the next god of destruction. We've already seen him handle the power from one of the gods of destruction as if it was nothing. Where Super Saiyan Blue, was it Super Saiyan Blue Goku was struggling to get out of it?
I think.
Like whenever it was, where they first brought Frieza back and then all of the...
Oh, yeah. Frieza, no issue, but Goku seemed to have a bit of an issue.
Yeah, and then, like, you've seen Whis ask Goku, or he may have asked Vegeta, if he wanted to become, like, a future god of destruction.
In the movie, I believe it was he asked Goku, but in the series, I think he asked Vegeta.
Okay, so we have... you know, the Kais, or the angels above the gods of destructions, ask them, like, basically to replace their own gods of destruction. And with the attitude and everything that Frieza shows, like, she was already, or I said he was already destroying planets, like, before there were any thoughts of a god of destruction, which is essentially what a god of destruction is going to do. And just like Beerus, who loves having people like bow down and respect him out of fear, which we've seen a lot, even Frieza was hesitant whenever he's seen Beerus show up during the fight with Goku and Vegeta. So with that in mind, that's the same attitude that Frieza has. So Frieza's attitude, personality already fits perfect with the God of Destruction. And whether there's a power boost or something that comes with the title, I think it would lead into the perfect story arc for them, because in the last one, I don't think, if I'm remembering correctly, Frieza in the golden form was actually, like, he was on par with Vegeta and Goku, but he wasn't quite up to their level. It seems
he exceeded them.
Was it?
It seems he exceeded them, but he didn't have the stamina level because he decided, I'm going to go straight to fight them after I just attained this form.
Okay.
That was both the movie and series.
Yeah, because Goku and Vegeta was like, no, I wanted to beat him, and then Goku was like, I could have beat him if I would have went full out at the beginning. Or at least that's what was in the movie. My memory is a little hazy of the actual anime version because there are slight alterations. But
yeah,
what are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think it could be Frieza taking over in the next arc as a god of destruction for either this universe or the next one? Because it would be interesting to see, because Beerus hasn't been defeated yet. So if the first person that we see to defeat Beerus turns out to be Frieza, then
it would be interesting.
Yeah, like that adds a whole new level to it. And then it would be even more interesting if he didn't kill Frieza, or he didn't kill Beerus, but Beerus just had his title stripped and then like made mortal or whatever it is. Because I think, can't the gods of destruction, like, without using like all of their power or whatever, they can just like snap their fingers basically and kill someone?
It seems like it requires at least their hand being extended.
Yeah,
like when he killed the Kai in the past or future or whatever, they pretty much what's his name, the guy who from the Goku Black arc, that Kai, he reached his hand down, he erased him. So now I don't know if he requires that, but it seems like that's all he needs to do. So
do you think that's only for people who are more powerful than he is? Or less powerful? To where, like, if it was someone who was more powerful, then he wouldn't be able to do it?
I'm not exactly certain. It could be he could do it to anyone. He just chooses not to because it would make a fight boring.
Yeah, because there was... like, he kind of warned and teased Goku about it, like trying to delete him, but then he ended up just fighting him normally. But with Frieza, like if Frieza was actually going after his position as God of Destruction, or one of the other gods of destructions, without automatically getting the title from the angel or from Whis, then I could imagine Beerus being like, well, this guy is going to kill me, so instead of fighting them one-on-one, I'm just going to like instantly delete them or erase them, whatever you want to call it. So
get out his death note and write it down.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't necessarily see how Frieza would become the god of destruction unless it was just offered to him. But then the second theory is that Vegeta and Dragon Ball has been hinting towards Vegeta going to the other universe to see the planet Sadala. Yeah. Which would be their version of like the English planet Vegeta. Or was Sadala the original before they took over?
Sadala was the original. Planet Vegeta, what they originally named it from, was taken from the Toffles. It's one of those things where it's just like, and the Toffles were GT, so if they still are canon or not, I have no idea.
So that gets into a tricky thing. Because, so is Planet Sadala the original Planet Vegeta? Or is it the one where they like took over the other planet and then renamed it?
I think it's the original planet that the Saiyans were born from.
So
they did say it was their home world in the arc.
So theoretically, Vegeta would have never seen his own version of Planet Sadala.
Exactly.
All right.
Maybe his father, but definitely not Vegeta. It seems like he only grew up on Vegeta.
Yeah, so I think it could be something similar to that, to where it's either Frieza or they go to this universe to like check out.
Or it could be a bit of both.
Yeah, because it could be Frieza going to that universe to get rid of the Saiyans like he did in his own universe.
Yeah, he could. I mean, who's to say that he doesn't become the god of destruction for a different universe? And lo and behold, it's Universe 6 because Champa hasn't been keeping up with his duties because he eats too much or something.
And then he goes to try to take out that world, but then Vegeta, not being able to stop Frieza from taking out his own world, is finally given a bit of redemption to try and save another universe's Saiyan planet.
Yeah, which honestly, even if that's not what happens, I would love to see that arc.
Yeah, and then because that seemed, without introducing another character who just happens to be way more powerful. Like the traditional anime trope that happens, like, oh, we just beat this bad guy, but now there's someone even more powerful that suddenly appeared. It would be a good way to like keep it with the characters that we know and continue the story instead of introducing something completely new. So that's basically my thoughts, and I think it ties in a little bit with next year there's supposed to be the Dragon Ball Z movie that is all about Saiyans.
Yeah.
So with the next arc being focused on Saiyans, and then the movie being about Saiyans, would make sense because we've seen the first movie was Battle of the Gods, which followed basically the first arc was an extended version of that, and then the same thing with the second arc and Revival of F or Frieza. So if the same thing happens to where the movie leads into the arc, or it's just a retelling of the arc or a retelling of the movie, that would make sense. But where do you see it going? I was talking way too long there.
No, it's no worries. I could definitely see that happening. Hell, you just told me about a movie I didn't know was going to exist.
Oh yeah.
But it would make sense, or maybe they start the arc and then, like they do the little filler bits here and there, and then they have the movie come out. We'll see. I'm not going to deny that having Sadala be a thing would be nice, just to see that. Anyway, let alone Vegeta going there and defending it from God of Destruction Frieza because he still hates Saiyans no matter what he does.
And since there are so many Saiyans still left in the arc or in that universe, they could easily, if it only takes like, what was it, 5, 6, or 7 Saiyans standing in the circle and giving their power to make one become a Saiyan god?
It takes 5 standing and giving their energy to a 6th.
Okay, so theoretically they could potentially make several Saiyan gods in that universe to go against Frieza.
And then do fusion.
Yeah, like basically what we've seen with Vegeta, to where there is Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Except this time, it would be interesting if they somehow gave it to what was her name? That turned into like the female Broly.
I think that was Caulifla.
Yeah.
Or was it Kale? It was either Caulifla or Kale. I can't remember.
Yeah, and then Kefla was the fusion.
Yeah,
so
Kefla was the fusion.
It was weird because it looked exactly like Broly with lipstick.
Yeah.
Like that was...
I still find it funny that when they did the fusion, it's like, oh my goodness, they actually look like a normal anime character now.
Yeah. So, like, it was just odd, but it was still cool to see. So I think they could do something like that to where it's like a legendary version of the Super Saiyan God, as opposed to just a Super Saiyan God or a legendary Super Saiyan. And then that is who they end up trying to get to stop Frieza, because originally it was in fear of one of them turning into the legendary Super Saiyan to stop him.
Yeah.
So,
and now he knows that he could probably sweep the floor with them.
Yeah.
So he has no more fear.
So aside, like, taking Frieza and planet Sadala out of the picture, where do you see it going? Like, if we take a different route with this, where do you see the arc going?
One of my favorite theories that came out involved the Grand Priest being the true bad guy of the series, because Zeno doesn't seem to care. He's just like, entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the rules. Destroy.
Yeah, like he's...
While the Grand Priest, the only time I ever seen him look like he was surprised at anything was when the Spirit Bomb came into play.
Yeah.
And
that was what actually pushed Goku to become Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, and then Ultra Instinct is like, oh, no big deal.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, okay, why was the Spirit Bomb something that freaked you out, but the Ultra Instinct, no big deal. There's something going on here. And then the idea that all the dead of the destroyed universes or erased universes will inevitably create an issue, and the Grand Priest has to pretty much get mortals to help him out because Zeno leaves residue or something. That was kind of the idea of what I heard. So you think of Janemba, but on multiple universe scale. That's what they said might be the new bad guy for a little while. I don't know. I just know that according to Universe 10, there's been a lot of time travel and a lot of alternate universes as is.
Yeah, I could see it to where either what you said happens, or like if the universes don't get brought back, which would suck, because some of, like the Wolf universe, no one really cared about. Was it like Universe 2?
I think it was 9.
Alright, like I don't think anyone really cared about them because they all seemed like dicks anyway.
Yeah.
Probably got demonetized for just saying that. No bad words.
Well,
remember Jesse. But yeah.
Remember, hashtag demonetized.
Yeah, so you probably get demonetized for saying demonetized. But yeah.
Well, shoot.
What was it? I could see Goku in his like carelessness being excited about winning the tournament and then being like, oh, we should have a tournament just like this but with the other stronger universes.
Oh.
And then like the angel being the bad guy is just like, yes, that's a great idea, a chance to erase all but one universe.
And that's how you get GT.
Yeah. So, there's also the character, the Dragon Master, whatever his name was, the guy that created the Dragon Balls, the Super Dragon Balls. It hasn't shown him yet, like the Dragon King, whatever his name is. And there was a theory talking about in the past, it was said that the Dragon Balls are only as powerful as their creator, which is why like the Dragon Balls on Earth weren't as strong as the Dragon Balls on Namek, because the Dragon Balls that like Dende or Piccolo or whoever created weren't Kami. Well, Dende created the second set, didn't he?
He created the second set, and that the second set was stronger.
Yeah, so with the person who creates them having basically like it's equal to the power of the creator or whatever. And then so with the Super Dragon Balls having limitless power, its creator would also have limitless power. And instead of Zeno-sama being the one with the limitless power that created it, as we talked about in the previous discussion, like if there was someone above him that was like a father figure or like whatever, the Dragon King, whatever his name would be, I think that would tie in. Maybe not for the next arc, but the one after that.
Yeah, well, there is the whole idea that his Dragon Balls are dispersed between two separate universes, which kind of says that he was part of two separate universes.
Who?
Which, the Dragon God, or the guy who created the Super Dragon Balls, because they're split between 6 and 7. But why, though?
Yeah, and then with this, where they're at right now, it's like a location that's outside of time and space. So like they're not in any of the universes right now. They're in like a place that's in between, I guess, like a different dimension or whatever. So that's kind of interesting to think about, because it gives the possibility to be like Zeno-sama has this set of 12 universes, and then this guy has this set of 12 universes. Whereas like each of the Grand Kais, I believe, have like the Eastern Galaxy, the Western,
the Supreme Kais had, because so far canon wise there's only one King Kai, but the Kai above them was the Supreme Kai, and then there's East, North, South, West, and I guess there's a Grand Supreme Kai, and that was supposed to be the one who controls everything, but Boo, doing what he did, he killed 3 Kais, and then there's also the Elder Kai who was sealed in the sword, which makes a question. There are 5 Kais?
He killed 2? No, he absorbed 2.
He absorbed 3.
Okay, so he didn't kill him, he absorbed the 3.
Yeah.
And then he sealed 1. Alright, so the question I was going to ask, if I can remember it, what is... Actually, I can't even remember it.
No worries. I had a great idea for what the next arc could be, and it slipped my mind.
Yeah. So, like, where... If it isn't... See, this is the thing. Like, if Zeno-sama from the future and Zemo-sama from the present, but there's only one Grand Priest with them, what happened if the universe was erased? So future Zeno-sama erased everything, including his own Grand Priest?
It seems like he only erased Universe 7 from his timeline, which begs the question, does that mean the future Trunks timeline literally
has no god?
Has no Grand God.
Oh, you know what I just thought about? What if that, like, because everyone talking about the Grand Priest being evil, wanting to get rid of the universes to theoretically get rid of Zeno-sama or whatever, so he can, like, be the one who rules over all of the universes instead of being the underling. What if that left the future Grand Priest in charge?
It seems like it might have.
And then they somehow connected and talked to each other or whatever. Since we know you can just casually time travel in Dragon Ball Super. So now the Grand Priest in the past somehow figured out, well, he wouldn't even need to figure out. He could just see, oh, Zeno-sama is not in the future. That means future me is in charge. But now the past me, like the present me, has to be in charge as well.
It could happen.
And then that's why he suddenly turned evil. Because he was jealous of his future self, or envious, or whatever.
Yeah, and he has to babysit 2 Zenos, not 1.
Instead of being the one who is, like, in control of absolutely everything.
No, it really does seem like he's already in control of absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Everyone has to go through him. Zeno pretty much is like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do what you say.
Yeah, so I think those are great potential future arcs. Frieza becoming God of Destruction. Another Ultimate Universal Tournament with the ones above. But I think that would be saved for like 2 or 3 seasons above. I don't think they would go from one tournament to another. I think it would be
tournament arcs are best saved.
Yeah, they had the tournament arc that was just between the 2 universes a while back, and then they had the future Trunks arc, and then they went back to a tournament arc. So if they have a tournament arc, not as the next arc, but as the one after that, if the show continues to go on that long, it would be interesting, because we have no idea or like any knowledge of who the other people were, and to have them ranked so high above the people that we have now would be interesting to see them, because if Goku and Jiren are so far above everyone else because they have Ultra Instinct, and that's what lets them rank so high, then it must be average for a strong fighter in the other universes to obtain Ultra Instinct.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Only for one reason.
Okay.
When they talked about Jiren, I believe it was Beerus who mentioned, I did hear of a universe that had a fighter so strong that even their God of Destruction couldn't match them. And then he looked at that was who Jiren was from that particular universe. And if I remember correctly, they were the favored because their universe was the highest mortal level of the weakest universes. Mortal level doesn't seem to really have anything to do with strength, though.
I thought it was tied into strength, knowledge, like how far advanced civilization is on average, and maybe something else. So like power wasn't the only thing, but it was one of the things brought in.
It might be, but if that was the case, I mean, Universe 7's not that bad, all things considered. But then again, they don't have that many civilizations, and I think that's part of it too.
Yeah.
Like, what's the average strength of the normal civilizations that even exist?
Well,
in your
because
universe?
Like Universe 6, I think all of their Saiyans, like their warrior race, is still alive.
Yeah.
So that would,
and they're pretty strong too.
That would make their average a lot higher than our universe, because like its entire planet full of warriors was destroyed. So that would, I would assume, automatically drop them like 2 or 3 points, because all you're left with are the warriors of Namek, the Frieza race, whatever Boo is, if he counts, because he's like artificial. Like
magical creation,
So I don't know what all they take in, but it's interesting. So that's where we think it's going to go in the future.
There was something that did happen in the manga I think you would be fascinated by, and maybe even the audiences. I have been looking at the manga. Granted, trying to keep up with the manga is not easy, especially because it's nearly discontinued on every regular site, and even purchasing it's a pain. Because translation's a pain. It showed the Gods of Destruction actually having their own little tournament, and Beerus was one of the top, Yeah, he was the second strongest compared to the Clown Destroyer.
Well, there was the thing where in the Battle of the Gods, we said Beerus had only been beaten once, or there was only one person in another universe that was stronger than him, or something like that.
Yeah, and that might have been the Clown God, which would say that I've been utilizing the Gods of Destruction as kind of a baseline for the power of whatever universe. If Beerus is the second strongest God of Destruction, then does that mean that Jiren is stronger than every God of Destruction, and including every person in the universe as it stands currently?
Well, there was a theory that the Clown God of Destruction, whatever his name is, was actually, like, in the same way Frieza was, like, gave power back to Goku to, like, give him some energy back, that whenever Jiren meditates, he's actually absorbing power from his God of Destruction.
I also like the idea that he was trained by the God of Destruction and ended up surpassing him, like Goku and Vegeta have been doing.
Yeah. Alright, so I think that brings us to the end. To recap, possibilities that we believe. Frieza becomes a God of Destruction, tries to, whether or not he's in the universe 6 or 7, tries to take out the other Saiyan universe. That way another Saiyan God doesn't rise up and try to kill him. Or a legendary Super Saiyan. Goku, everyone, Vegeta, since Vegeta wants to go to that planet, ends up stopping it. I assume that's might be how it goes if Frieza does become a God of Destruction, or it'll be Frieza continually, not necessarily being completely evil, but teasing Goku and Vegeta. Like whenever they cross paths, Frieza would just be like, you know, all I have to do is wave my hand and you're gone.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because, like, it would be Frieza, like Vegeta, like Goku would, I don't think he necessarily wants to kill Frieza again, he just wants to fight with him, but then Vegeta is the one that I would imagine that would want to, like, completely get rid of him. So it would be, like, a lot of teasing from Frieza to Vegeta, and, like, that would be his, like, cruel form of punishment for Vegeta. That would also add a little bit of comedy to the show. And then there's the future tournament with the stronger universes. There is the angel being evil Grand Priest. People call them angels in like videos and stuff. Is that their official title?
Yeah, that's their official
title.
Like
there's the gods, and then they're the angels. But then the angels are more powerful than the gods.
Yeah, like the angels are far more powerful than the gods, because that's why Beerus, we used as Beerus' teacher.
Yeah, see, like, I think if they called Beerus, instead of the God of Destruction, if he was the Angel of Death, like, if that was the title instead of God of Destruction, then it would make more sense, because in typical religions, like, aren't angels below the gods?
They're supposed to be below the gods, but it doesn't seem to fit, because the whole other universes thing changes all of that.
Yeah, but then I guess, like, they're just the, I don't know, it's weird. Like, they're, whenever the universe is gone, they are gone as well, but the angels are ranked above that. It's just, it gets a little bit odd in some of the titles that it gives, but that's...
Yeah, then again, the whole idea that if a Supreme Kai dies, then all of a sudden the God of Destruction will go along with them. It's just like, ew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. I think that brings us to our next topic. So, you ready?
Yes.
Speculations on will there still be 5 standing for Universe 7? Alright. The videos on this channel are funded by supporters on Patreon like you. If you're a fan of this channel and would like to join on videos, receive shoutouts, watch videos early, have your questions answered, or have your topic discussed on our podcast, please consider supporting on Patreon for these and many other rewards for just $1. Shoutouts for this video includes Link Use the Triforce, Rusty Caulfield, Lovable Christy, Give Time 15, Shadow to Us, Robbie Morgan, and Lunarium. I want to thank all of you for everything you have done to help support this channel.